Look at this. No. I'm looking at this crowd. Cindy, how are you?
Oh, hi. How are
Nice
you?
to see you. How are you?
Likewise. I didn't
How are you?
find my glasses,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
You don't wear contacts?
Well, I have contacts, but I didn't have them on.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Well, there's not much to see.
No, there is.
Shabbat shalom. How are you?
Musgrove, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
My great uncle.
Oh, I know them. They used to come to Havdalah all the time
Sure. Oh, yeah.
when you were on Dolphin Island. Yeah.
Right.
He's with us during the.
I live in
He's where
Dolphin
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice
So-
to meet you.
I
Yeah.
think I'll get started.
Oh.
Nice to see you.
I didn't have my calendar. Wait, do I?
Shabbat shalom. One thing I never like to interrupt is when people are commiserating, right? And any time in shul when people want to talk, it's fine with me. We can take time to do that. So thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate it. What a crowd. I mean, really, this is remarkable. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. As you know, we're praying out of Sidor Lev Shalem, and we will begin on page 5. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. We continue with Lech on page 11. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladonai. Naria, naria, letzor yeshenu, nekad mafana betoda. Naria, naria, letzor yeshenu. Shenu bizmirot narialo lechu neranena lechu neranena lechu neranena ladonai lechu neranena lechu neranena lechu neranena ladonai naria naria letzor yeshenu nekad mafana betoda Naria, Naria, Letzor Yishenu, Bizmirot Naria Lo. We continue responsively in the English. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song. Come then, let then. Who formed us. For Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock, sheep in God's caring hands.
If only you would listen today to God's voice, and not become hard-hearted like the people of Arabah, like the time of Massah in the desert, when your ancestors tried me and tested me, so they had seen what I have done.
For 40 years I was troubled by that generation, and I said, these are a people whose hearts have gone astray. They do not know my way, so in anger I swore they would not enter my rest. Arba'im shana kut bedor va'omam to'eh levavim ve'im lo yadid rachai asher nishpati v'api im yeva'on el menuchati. Psalm 96, page 13. Ashiru ladonai shir chadash, shiru ladonai kol haaretz, shiru ladonai baruch shemo, basru meyom leyom yeshuato, sapru vagoyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim nifleotov, ki gadol Adonai, O mehulal miyob, no rahu, alko Elohim, lai lai lai, kiko Elohe ha'amim elilim, v'Adonai shamayim asab, od ve'adar lefanav, oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho, havul Adonai mishpachot amim, havul Adonai kavod vos, havul Adonai ke'evod shemo, seu mincha, uvahu lechatzerot, lai lai lai, shtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, chilo mipanav kol haaretz, imru vagoyim Adonai malach, avtikum tevel balatimot, yadina hamim b'meisharim, yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz, ayiramayamu melo, yalo sadai, v'chol asher bo lai lai lai, aziranenu kol hatziyar, lifnei Adonai kiva, kiva lishpot haaretz, ishpot tevel b'tzedek, v'yamim b'emunato, yalai la la la, yai la 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 la, yai la la la, la 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 la, yai la la la, yai la la la, la la, yai la la la. We continue page 15, Psalm 97, and again we will read responsively in the English. Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad, the many distant lands rejoice. Flashes of lightning illumine the land. The earth watches and trembles. Mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the Master of all the earth. worshippers of idols be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme bow before God. You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine. Light is sown for the righteous and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounce the divine holy name. Or zarula tzadik ul Yisrael simcha, simchu tzadikim badunai, vodu lezecher kadesho, page 17, Psalm 98. Mizmor shiru ladonai shir chadash ki niflo dasa Hoshia lo yimino uzaro wako adia Adonai Yeshuato le'eno goyim gilatzit kato zachar chastav emunato levei Yisrael, Ra'u cholav se'aretz, et Yeshuat Eloheinu, Horiu l'Adonai kol ha'aretz, Pitzchum ve'ranenu v'zameru, Zamru Adonai bechinar, bechinar v'kol zimara, b'chatzot rod v'kol shofar, Horiu lifnei HaMelech Adonai, Yiramayam umelo tevel v'yoshveva neharot yimcha uchaf yachad harim yiranenu lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel b'tzedek v'yamim b'meisharim yalai lalai 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 yalai lalai la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. We continue Psalm 99 on page 19, again responsively. Adonai reigns, nations tremble. The one enthroned amidst the cherubim makes the world quake. A sovereign strength lies in the love of justice, and you forge the paths of truth, judging Jacob righteously and justly. Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who called upon the divine name, called to you, and you answered them. You spoke to them from amidst the cloud. They kept your covenant and the law you gave them. You answered them, Adonai, our God. You are a forgiving God to them, even as you punish them for their transgressions.
Exalt Adonai our God, and bow down at God's holy mountain. For Adonai our God is holy.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lahar kadosho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We rise, page 21, Psalm 29. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod vaos, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, el kavod yirim Adonai al mayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai be'adar, kol Adonai shover arazim vaishaber Adonai et al zehalvanon vayarkidem kemo egel Levanon v'Sirion kemo venre'emim kol Adonai chotzev lavotesh kol Adonai yachil midbar yachil Adonai midbar kadesh kol Adonai yecholel ayalot vayechesap nyachot uvechalo kulo merkavod Adonai lamabul yashav yeshev Adonai melech leolam Adonai oz liamo yitain Adonai yivorech et amo vashalom. You may be seated. We continue with Lechadodi, page 23. Lechadodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela Lechadodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Ishmiyanu elam yuchad Adonai echad u'shamo echad l'shem ultiferet v'litila lechadodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela lekrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor habiracha merosh mikedem nesucha sov maseh b'machshvat chila lecha dodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela mikdash melech ir melucha kumitzei mitocha hafecha rav lach shevet b'yemek habacha v'hu yachamo alaychem la lecha dodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. We rise, we turn to page 25 for the last stanza of Lechadodi, and we face towards the entrance to greet the Shabbat bride. Bo'i v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha uvetzala tochem unei am segula bo'i chala lecha dodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. You may be seated. We continue page 27 with Psalm 92. A psalm, the song of the day of Shabbat. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and sing to your name, Most High, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. The arrogant do not understand, the fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms only to be destroyed forever. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered. As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear. In old age they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming, Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Tzaddik atamar yifrach ki erez balvanon yiske shetulim bevet Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseva deshenim verananim yeyu lehagid ki yashar Adonai tzuri v'lo avlatabo. Page 29. Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest time you were enthroned. You are eternal. In your house, beautiful in its holiness, your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time. Those observing Yartzeit and those who mourn, I ask you please to rise and turn to page 30 and join me in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shmei Rabba v'yomad divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayichon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimaru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'me'el maya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitadar Lev yitalal shmeid kudisha barichu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran miyoma v'imaru amen. Yehi shlama rab mid shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael yimaru amen. O se shalom bimramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imaru amen. You may be seated. Morris and Edith decided to go to the state fair, and they're getting up in age, and they were trying to think, what should we do this year? What's on our bucket list? And Morris said, well, maybe we should go up in this helicopter at the state fair. And Edith says, well, $50 is $50. It's a lot of money. And Morris just brings all the arguments to go. Edith brings all the arguments not to go, and they're arguing back and forth. And the pilot of the helicopter overhears them, and he's just like, he's just listening to them complaining and arguing. And he says, folks, listen, I'm going to take you up in the helicopter. If I can get you not to say anything the entire trip, it's for free. Thinking they're going to argue. So they go up, and they're pretty good. They haven't said a word, so the pilot starts doing somersaults, he starts doing dives, he starts doing all this stuff to get them to say something. Nothing. Finally lands, and he goes over to Morris. He said, boy, I have to hand it to you. I didn't hear a peep out of you. And Morris goes, well, when Edith fell out, I thought maybe to say something, but $50 is $50. It's a Jewish joke. So I'm sure you've heard everything you need to know about coronavirus. I don't want to talk about it really, but I want to talk about what we did during the shutdown. In my synagogue in Montgomery, we were shut down for 2.5 years. I was the only one in the building and developed our live streaming. And it was, it was dead. But without, and I'm sure, and Rabbi Steve also created, and David created the live stream here, and, it sort of kept us all going. We were experiencing our shul at home, other shuls. I went online to Beit Jeshurun in New York, which was a wonderful Carlebach minyan. Never saw them. I never could see them live, but here they were during the pandemic. Got to see them. But there's so many things that we did, right? How many here cleaned out their house a couple times? Because there was nothing to do. How many chores did you do? How many rebuilt their house from scratch? Our synagogue was basically they had redid the whole synagogue while everyone is out. I'm the only one who remembers all of the sawdust and everything else that they did. But one of the things that I know a lot of us were able to do is catch up on all of those shows that we've recorded in our DVRs and never got to watch. And got to watch them a couple times. I got to watch Game of Thrones. That's why it was so popular, because there was nothing else on and things to watch. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Watched that entire series twice, and then I watched Breaking Bad. I'm sorry, I liked it. Ozark came out, and that was these shows have an edge to them. And the Borgias, if you want to know about the popes in the 1500s, you might want to watch that. It's quite racy. But I remember every one of these shows, because they were multiple seasons, when they went from one season to another, had a cliffhanger, okay? When I say cliffhanger, everybody remembers the cliffhanger, the mother of all cliffhangers, who killed JR, okay? TV producers and writers must have been Bible fans, because there are many Torah portions that actually are cliffhangers, okay? They end, but they don't really end. It's like, wait a minute, it's got to be something else, and then you have to read next week's portion to find out. So 2 weeks ago and last week, we read, there were 2 portions, and we hear the story of Balak. And the Israelites were dwelling at a place called Shittim. King Balak was afraid because the Israelites were marching towards his territory. And he had already heard about the Israelites having gone through his other friend, the king's territory, and they came out to fight the Israelites, and it didn't go so well with them. So he thought, well, he's not going to be able to do a frontal attack on the Israelites, so he did something a little different. He told the women, the Moabite women, to invite this is going to be R-rated, sorry, to invite the Israelite men to come and be familiar with them, intending to introduce their idols into the Israelite culture, uniting the two peoples, and therefore the Israelites wouldn't attack them. God, being a jealous God, told Moses to gather the ringleaders and have them publicly impaled so that God's wrath will be checked. Just as at that moment, an Israelite man brought a Moabite woman woman in eyesight of Moses and the leadership and took her into his tent. I am guessing not to play checkers. Pinchas, Aaron's grandson, took a spear, went into the tent, and ran them through as they were coupled. We are told in the text that the plague against the Israelites was checked. End of portion, cliffhanger. We don't know what happens. We have to hang on until the next week. So the text the following week, which is last week, which is called Pinchas, and it ended not with a dream sequence, sorry, that's a spoiler for Dallas, but with God saying to Moses that Pinchas had turned back his wrath from the Israelites by displaying among them his passion for me, God. I now grant him my pact of shalom, or peace. It would appear at first glance that God approved of the actions of Pinchas, who acted as a vigilante and presumed to act in God's name without due process in a proper Beit Din, a Jewish court, in front of Moses' judicial system. In our day and age of religious extremism, this whole episode makes our skins crawl. And we cannot understand why God would sanction such a horrific act. In fact, it would appear that later commentators were also uncomfortable with this text as well. Evidence for some of this dismay can be found in the word shalom, as in brit shalom, pact of shalom. Shalom is written with 3 Hebrew letters, a shin, a lamed, a vav, which is like a lowercase l, and a final mem. So the text of the Torah, if I was to pull out the Torah right now and open to that portion and show you the word shalom, you may not recognize that there was a problem with it, but if you looked really closely, the vav, which is a straight line, just like a lowercase l, is in 2 parts. It actually has a cut in it. Okay? And if you know anything about the Torah, it's handwritten. If there are any mistakes, you have to close the Torah, you have to put it back, get another Torah out. You can't read from it. It's puzzle. It's not kosher anymore to read. Okay? This mistake was made on purpose. This cut in this letter was made on purpose. The Masoretes in the 7th century created the text of the Torah that we have and did this with this letter Vav. There are a lot of oddities in the Torah, by the way. Some letters are bigger than others, like in Bereshit, the first word of the Torah. Some letters are small, like the word Vayikra at the beginning of Leviticus. The aleph is small. Some letters are superimposed. In 2 cases, we have a letter upside down and inverted. There's a nun. And actually, we read that 2 weeks ago, I believe. And then there's words that have dots above them. They're not vowels. There are no vowels in the Torah. So what is this about? What are all these oddities about? We have no idea, because there's no footnotes in the Torah. There's no index. There's no table of contents. There's no introduction. The Masoretes just wrote the text, and here you go, Jewish people. Here's your Torah. Good luck with it. So we really don't know what this is about. But that doesn't stop Jews from trying to figure out maybe they make commentation on this text. So a couple of things. Maybe the Masoretes who wrote the text were saying that the pact of shalom that God was giving to Pinchas was not a complete shalom, because there was a cut. There's a couple that with the observation, and I made at the beginning about the story being a cliffhanger or split between the end of last week's portion and this week's. That's a good pun, okay? Split, because the vav is split. Maybe what the text is telling us is that when faced with a perceived injustice, maybe we shouldn't react right away. How many of us come across something? Somebody makes a bad Jewish joke. A non-Jew has a slur. I can't tell you how many times I've heard Jew 'em down. And people just say it. I don't think they realize what they're saying and how bad it is. But there's a lot of times when we want to react right away. Maybe what this text is telling us is don't react right away. Stand back, analyze the situation to ascertain whether rash action is indeed justified, and after careful reflection, then and only then react. Very un-Jewish thing to do. We love to react. If you look at the text carefully, God was clearly upset with the Israelite men in their going after Moabite women and giving in to their idolatrous ways. God clearly told Moses to impale the ringleaders, and this is essentially what Pinchas did, not questioning or seeking permission. His zealotry got the better of him and indeed was doing the bidding of God. But yet, it still makes us feel uncomfortable that somebody would do this. What is it that we are not seeing in the text? One answer can be found if we look back at the word shalom in the text and again focus on the split vav. Rashi, our most important commentator from the 11th century, he lived during the First Crusades in France. Rashi and other places where there are textual oddities, such as big or small letters or dots above letters, tells us to interpret that word as if the oddity was not there. Okay? So if you, there's a story in when Jacob meets Esau after 21-year exile. Okay? Jacob is afraid that Esau is going to kill him because he stole the birthright. So, and there's a big buildup in the text, and it says that Jacob and Esau came together, and Esau fell on the neck of Jacob, and it says in the text, Vayishakehu, and he kissed him. And the word Vayishakehu has dots, there's dots above every letter. We have no idea what it means, okay? Rashi said it was an insincere kiss, okay? And so the dots were maybe an ancient editing technique that said, in the next version of the Torah, let's, skip this word. Don't put this word in. Okay, so maybe the split vav was somehow, Rashi maybe said, maybe we should interpret the word as if it didn't have the vav, okay? If you take the word shalom, you take the vav out, it becomes the word shalem, which means whole or complete. So another way of looking at the story is that sometimes an individual can be doing what is right and good in the eyes of God, but still not achieving wholeness. Our outward actions can and often do tell a very different story from our internal dialogue. The personal, physical, emotional, and intellectual struggles that we negotiate on a daily basis frequently stay buried within ourselves. To achieve wholeness, true shlemut, we must find a way to make peace with our internal drives. How many of us react in the moment without reflecting or what the consequences are of our actions? Most of us. Sometimes we justify those quick actions, but never come face to face with what we believe on the inside. So the lesson for me this week is to remind myself to take a breath, stand back, and reflect before I react, before I act. The hardest thing to do is not act on our emotions or our passions, but to achieve this wholeness, we must stop and consider our surroundings, consider those we love, and act out of true shalom. We should practice a Judaism that seeks shlemut, wholeness in our relationship, not only with God, but with each other and within ourselves. So rather than solve the issue of today, let it be a cliffhanger. Tomorrow you might have better insight. Shabbat shalom. We'll now continue with Ma'ariv, page 39a, and we start with the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. Please rise. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Varach Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzevaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. U'mahavir yom u'mevi laila, mavdil ben yom u'ven laila, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch olenu l'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim, page 40. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amchavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu v'kumeinu nesiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, ועבדך תשים ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בבית ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך וקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, והיה אם שמוע תשמעו מצותי אשר אנוכי מצוותיך. לתת להם כימי השמיים על הארץ. ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת להם ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורתם ונתנו על ציצית תקנה פתיל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם amen. Page 43a we read together. This is our enduring affirmation binding on us that Adonai is our God and there is none other, and we, Israel, are God's people. God is our sovereign, redeeming us from earthly rulers, delivering us from the hand of all tyrants, bringing judgment upon our oppressors and just retribution upon all our mortal enemies, performing wonders beyond understanding and marvels beyond all reckoning. God places us among the living, not allowing our steps to falter, and leads us past the false altars of our enemies, exalting us above all those who hate us. Adonai avenged us with miracles before Pharaoh, offered signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. God brought Israel from its midst to lasting freedom and led them through the divided water of the Sea of Reeds. As their pursuers and enemies drowned in the depths, God's children beheld the power of the divine. They praised and acknowledged God's name. Page 44. ומלכותו ברצום קיבליהם, משה ומיam ובני ישראל הנשירה, בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדור בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ובניך בוקיים לפני משה, זה לי אנו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלעד מאוד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 45. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו העמידנו לבנותיך ופרוס עלינו שקת שלומך ותתננו ושמוצאתנו ואין לחיים ושלמתה ויד עולם ופרוס עלינו שקת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הבורא סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. We rise for Vishamru, page 46. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ביום דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולמי. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן מיומה ויאמרו amen. We continue with the silent Amidah, pages 47 through 52. This is a time for meditation. Pray in English, pray in Hebrew, or the best language of all, the language of the heart.
I just wanted to mention, this is Rosh Chodesh, so there's an extra passage on page 50.
Excellent, thank you. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu. מודים אנחנו לך. And we continue page 54. Yitkada v'yikada shemei rabba b'yom ha'divrach yirutei v'yamlech malchutei b'chayechon v'mechon v'chayda Beit Yisrael b'agalav izman kari v'mahu amen yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam ne'al me'al maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitaleh shmei d'kudusha b'richu le'la min kol birchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechemata d'amiran b'yom ha'vimahu amen titkabel tzloton v'atan d'chod Yisrael kadam v'nishmai v'mahu amen yehi shlama rabba min shemai v'chayim aleinu al kol Yisrael v'mahu amen oseh shalom b'imromav v'yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. We rise, page 56, for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol l'tet gedula liotzer bereshit shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot v'lo samanu k'mishmachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu She'onotei Shamayim V'yosed Haaretz Umoshev Yikara B'Shamayim Imal U'Shchinatu Zo B'Gavei Meromi Hu Eloheinu Einod Emet Malkeinu Evazulato Kakatu Betorato V'yadatayam V'ashevota Elavavecha Ki Adonai Elohim B'Shamayim Nimal V'yala Aretz Mitachat Einod Al Ken Nikavelach Adonai Eloheinu Li'od Me Gagadu b'toratecha Adonai imloch le'olam voed v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom ha'u yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated. This week we will observe yahrzeits for Morris Sheridan, Ben Lubell, Annie O. Prince, Suzanne Cam Ida Bell Brook, Ida G. Munchnick, Barry Siegel, Nathan Sobel, Flora Gerhart, Rose Kramer, Irving Rygrod, Albert Jett, Zelda Perlman, Erwin Marcus, Morris Berkowitz, Dr. William Gerwich, J.B. McKell, Bert Gerwich, Leo Berman, and Sidney Rosner. Those observing yahrzeit and those who mourn, please rise and join me. Page 58 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabba v'yalmad divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agalav izman kari v'mahu amen yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam olmeil maya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitrumam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar V'yar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei kudisha b'richu le'lamin kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran b'yoma v'yimahu amen yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimahu amen. O se shalom v'imramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimahu amen. You may be seated. Thank you for joining me, for joining us for Kabbalat Shabbat. It really is really great to see so many people here. In Montgomery, Agudath Israel, we've had a tail off since the pandemic ended, and it's just remarkable how some synagogues have just bounced right back. And Ahavas Chesed appears to be one of them, so I really appreciate everybody coming out. We do have services tomorrow at 10 a.m. And are there any other announcements?
Yes, we have an O-Neg after this.
Okay. An onig? That means food?
Deviled eggs.
Onig means delight, by the way. So we will go ahead and conclude with Yigdal, page 62. יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא ויהנית אל מציאותו אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף לא נערוך אליו קדושתו קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו. הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר יורה גדולתו ומלכותו שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו. לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומביט את אמונתו. תורת אמת נתן לעם אוהל היד נביאו נאמן ביתו לא יחליף אוהל ולא ימיר דתו לעולמים לזולתו צופה ויודע סתרנו מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו גומר לאיש חסד כמפעלו נותן לרשע רם כרישתו ישלח לקץ ימין משיחנו לפתות מחקקת ישועתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם דהילתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם דהילתו. Shabbat Shalom.